Drink up me hearties, yo. Hi, my name is Hannah and I talk all things costuming, cosplay, and live events. Today we are talking about making a pirate skirt for Pirate Weekend at the Great Lakes Medieval Faire. Okay, so I started this project because I knew I was going to be going to the Great Lakes Medieval Faire on their Pirates and Puppies Weekend, and I didn't really have anything for my current vision, and I just wanted to make something new, I guess. I had some time on my hands, I wanted to do it. The other piece of that is that I was really inspired by this applique that I recently received through a friend of a friend. I have some of it here. I have a ton of it. I have so much more of it left. But you can kind of see it's red and black. There we go, that's the right side. It's got these beautiful flowers on it, and it kind of, you know, it feels a little piratey to me. It also kind of feels a little vampire-y, so we'll talk about that later. But so I had that and I was like, oh, this would go great on like a black skirt. I can wear it for the Pirates Weekend. Absolutely, we're gonna do this. So I went to Joanns and I was looking around. I was just gonna get their cheap black cotton fabric, make it just plain black and have that accent onto it. When I got in the craft store, the super cheap cotton that they had, they didn't have any in just plain black. So then I found this beautiful like foil stripe in the quilting cotton, and the minute I saw it, I was like this is it. The other big piece of this is that I had a $15 gift card left over from Christmas, and so I was like, I need to make sure I want to use up this thing and hopefully not go over it so I don't spend a ton of money on it. So I found this cotton. It was on sale for $4.99 a yard. I ended up buying 3 yards, and I used my gift card for it. So right off the bat, not really spending any money. We love this. So let's talk about process for a second and kind of what I was going for. First of all, always pre-wash your fabric. I don't care what the fabric says, pre-wash it, especially if it's going to be something that you are continually wearing and you want to continually wash. So this fabric, 100% cotton, I definitely want to make sure I wash it and dry it to take care of any of that like shrinkage that might take place. So that's the very first thing I do. I serge off the edges so they are nice and secure and they're not going to unravel in the wash. Once it is washed and dried, I'm ready to start cutting it out. And I will also say make sure you wash it on whatever you normally wash your clothes in so it can continue that cycle, right? So I always wash my clothes on cold and then do a medium heat dry. So that's what I did. Didn't really look like there was a ton of shrinkage, but I didn't really measure it out afterwards. Just make sure you do that. Otherwise, you're going to make something that's really, really cute and then you're going to throw it in the wash and you're never going to be able to make it again. Or never going to be able to wear it again. I say this from experience. Don't do it. Trust me. I bought 3 yards of it. I measured myself to see how long I wanted the actual skirt to be. I wanted it to be about 30 inches from my waist to the edge of the skirt. So I added a couple inches for seam allowance. I added 2 inches. And then from my 3 yards of fabric, I got 3 panels of 32 inches by 43. 43 is the width of the fabric like it came. I had a little bit left over so that I was able to make a little ruffle at the bottom of the skirt. So the skirt was in 3 pieces and the bottom ruffle was in 4 pieces. And the other upside to this is that I didn't really have any leftover or wasted fabric. I was able to use all of the fabric. So I got my pieces cut out and I have 2 of those 3 seams I serged together. So it's 1, 2, 3. They're serged together at those 2, and it's just one long wide piece of fabric with the stripes all going the same way. Then with that ruffle, I was looking at it and I was like, I want more. So I also had this like really wide lace that I just had laying around, and then I was like, I still want some more. So I went ahead and dug through my trim and ribbon collection with this like maroonish color ribbon, and I knew that was gonna work pretty well. It wasn't an exact match to that applique, but it was in like the still color family. Like it still looked like they could be in the same vicinity. So I went ahead and added a strip of that ribbon across the entire ruffle, about 1 inch from the top of that ruffle. So there's a little bit of space from when we're gonna sew that ruffle on to the bottom of the skirt. After that, we can lay out the entire full skirt piece, and that's when I started putting this big long strip of applique on it. I used a ruler to make sure everything was like 2 inches from the bottom of the skirt, so there's a nice 2-inch gap to allow for some sewing and distance between the bottom and ruffle and this applique. Honestly, this is the part that took the longest, was pinning all of this in place and sewing it all in place. So I went around and did a little zigzag around all of the edges. And then once it is sewn together, you don't really see it unless you're looking up close, and honestly, most people aren't. That applique had some excess mesh on it. So after I sewed it and secured it down, I went through and trimmed off that mesh. My next step was gathering the ruffle to attach it to the base of the skirt, but I just go ahead and slap that on there. So everything is still nice and flat. It's time to start putting the waistband in. What I did was I turned down that serged edge and just sewed right along that, so it's a nice clean edge. Then after that, I went ahead and folded it down another inch to create this nice little channel pocket for me to put the waist tie through. So I've got this nice pocket, it's open, and the next thing I'm going to do is sew the sides of the skirt together so it actually becomes like skirt shape. So I'm going to sew up the entire bottom of it except for that little channel that we left for the waist tie. The same ribbon I used at the hem, I had enough of it, so I went ahead and used it for the waist tie. I put a safety pin in there and chased it through the channel, and then at either end, I attached these little beads that I got at Dollar Tree and did like 3 knots on the outside so the knot would not pull through the bead. And basically that's it. Then you can just pull it and tighten it, and the skirt gathers to wherever your waist currently is. You can tie it, make it a little looser, a little tighter. This skirt was super easy and fast, and I could have done it faster had I not done all those extras, the applique, the lace, the ribbon, etc. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. And overall, I really only spent like $1.25 at Dollar Tree for those beads. Everything else I had either in my stash, was recently given to me, or was covered by that Joann gift card I had from last Christmas. So that was awesome. And here's the final look. Here is a snippet about our visit to the Great Lakes Medieval Festival. We'll talk more about that in next week's video. So tell me what you think. Did you like this walkthrough? Is there anything else you're interested in learning about sewing wise? Are you interested in the other elements of my pirate outfit? Well, we can talk about that. Let me know in the comments below. And that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.